We have Michael Anthony's 1969 GT500 Shelby convertible.
Here at Gateway Classic Mustang, the engine, transmission, and suspension are all getting reworked on this classic. But before we join the team on the car, we have a very special invitation.
Welcome to my garage. I don't have a huge stable of cars. I mean, I'd love to actually own 100 cars if I could. But the only problem is I like to drive each and every one of my cars. These are all like my kids, and I do not want to walk into a garage where it's just a stable of cars on battery chargers. My first hot rod, actually right here behind me, is my 33 Fire Roadster, we call it. I think the funnest thing about driving this car is actually just taking the top off it and just mashing the pedal to the floor. I got a few of my signature things. I like hot, spicy food, so we milled, and you can get down here, we actually milled a chili pepper into the rear end cover there. It's a fun car to drive around and have a good time in. This is my 84 512 Boxer. When Sammy Hagar joined Van Halen back in 1986, he brought that whole Ferrari vibe to the full because I had never owned an exotic car before. I bought this quite a few years ago, actually. It's a 99 550 Maranello. My wife and I like to go out. If we go out on a weekend cruise or out of town, we like to take this car. It's just a great driving touring car. This car right here, my 57 Nomad, I bought this actually at the Barrett-Jackson auction a couple of years ago. I wanted to keep the car as stock looking as I could. You know, obviously from the outside it looks pretty stock with, you know, all the custom stuff underneath and inside, but built a small center console. The reason I did that is so it doesn't look like all of a sudden you see an aftermarket stereo in there with the original looking stereo. I wanted to still look like it just had the one unit in there. So it worked out pretty good.
Now, back over at Gateway, things are well underway.
First thing we're going to do is throw the rear end under this car. We're going to stick the fresh suspension on the front, get the steering on it, get the transmission back in it that Bowler rebuilt for us. Daryl Blumner is our lead technician here. He's a trained senior master Ford technician. Worked years with the dealerships and things like that, so he's going to kind of ramrod this project for us.
We're installing the shackles now. They've been restored and repainted, putting in new shackle bushings so they're good and tight.
When we got the car here and we pulled out the engine, saw the transmission needed to be freshened up and rebuilt, and I called Mark up at Bowler Transmissions, asked him, hey, if I got this out to you today, could you have it back to me in 2 days? Like usual, Mark pulled through for us and got us our transmission. It's sitting here today. We're going to slam it in the car.
So while they're installing that transmission at Gateway, there's a few more cool rides that Michael Anthony is dying to show us.
Okay, actually, we got a couple more cars over here. Right here is my 1940 Ford convertible, all steel body, beautiful in-shape car when I first bought it. This one I wanted to build a hot rod that was a little more comfortable. So like, you know, if I went on any kind of an overnight cruise or something like that. And it's just a great fun car to drive. And last but certainly not least here is my 2005 Ford GT. When I want to go out and have a good time on the freeway, this is the car.
We get the feeling that that was something of an understatement. This GT can perform. Michael's had the car's computer remapped, allowing it to produce over 700 horsepower. Meanwhile, back at Gateway, the team is working. But hopefully, for the sake of the king, it's safety first.
Hey, Elvis, be real careful. You know, we don't want you to break your hip or anything here.
I'm still working with it.
Dyno tested, ready to go. With this big of a motor, the exhaust being the way it is, it being a convertible, we just got to shove it in there as tight as we can get it, as far back as we can get it, and then try to set the motor in without scratching anything, which that's the challenge because a big block 428 Cobra Jet car in a Mustang is not a fun project at all.